studios of WSMN, its owners and or associates.
Ray Andrews is a motorcycle enthusiast known throughout the biker community as Wolfmann. He grew up in the Dorchester area of Massachusetts and has been riding since he was 12 years old. He is a veteran of the U.S. Army and proudly served our country overseas in the theaters of Germany, Italy, and Panama. He retired from the U.S. Army and hung up his 1,000-yard stare to live a life behind bars, the handlebars of a motorcycle riding down the open road. His mission is to inform, educate, and spread his love of motorcycles and the joy of riding to bikers and non-bikers alike. His motto and creed is simply, it's not the destination. It's not how you get there, but instead, it's the people you meet along the way. In the wind, with the Wolfman. Let's ride.
Good morning, Biker Nation. This is In the Wind, and I am your host, the Wolfman. We're coming to you live from WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM, WSMN.live, Facebook.com/Wolfman with 3 N's, and yes, we're going to live in infamy forever on YouTube.com at In the Wind Radio. Today's weather, if you look out the windows, it's not snowing, so that's a good sign. We have 30 degrees for the next few days. We do have some snow coming in over the weekend in the 20s. The rally report, well, actually, we got our sponsors. We got some of our sponsors in the studio. My newest sponsors, Naults, Indian, Seacoast, Naults, Seacoast, Indian Motorcycles. I get so tired because it's so close to what you guys do, you know. But that's my newest sponsor. We have Mayhem Inc. over on West Pearl Street. And let's not forget Nashua Bingo down on Daniel Webster Boulevard. The rally report, we have really nothing doing locally, but if you're getting ready for this, Daytona Bike Week, February 28th to 27th to March 8th in 23 days. Myrtle Beach Bike Week, May 8th to the 17th. That's 93 days away. Americade up at Lake George, May 27th to the 30th, 11 days. And let's not forget the granddaddy of them all, Laconia Bike Week, June 13th through the 21st, 129 days. And Sturgis Bike Week, August 7th through the 16th at 184 days away. We also have Campers Inn is going to be coming back as one of our sponsors. Bernie will be in next week. I do have one thing to say. It's kind of more like a public service announcement, but it's political, and I usually don't touch the political side. But Governor Ayotte did make it so we wouldn't have to have inspection stickers this year, but a U.S. District Judge, Landia McCafferty, blocked it due to the company Gordon Darby Incorporated, who administrates and collects the majority of the fees. So it's all about the money. The annual revenue for this company is $18.1 million. For less than 500 employees in their company. New Hampshire doesn't get any of this money. They actually make the money off the sale of the sticker itself. That only comes at $3.4 million back to the state, and they charge the garages and inspection stations for those. We would have had a great time up here. I mean, we all are pretty responsible, and apparently Gordon Darby stopped it on an EPA law that's so obscure it's ridiculous, just so they can get their money. But today's guest, Scott and Curt, from our newest sponsor, Naults Seacoast Indian Motorcycle, still built in America. How you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Good. Glad to have you guys in. Glad to have you guys as part of the family of WSMN. You will be living in infamy here on the Indian Wolfman Show. We're going to change the name, the Indian Wolfman Show. You like that?
I like it.
You guys just got back from a big conference with Indian.
Yeah, we did. We got some pretty exciting news about the state of Indian. As you know, Polaris kind of revived Indian back in 2011. They did okay, right? They made a great bike. They certainly knew that, but they're in the off-road section of life, and we're on the on-road section of life. And as well as they did, it's also what was holding us back. So we got some really cool news to share here.
Yeah, and isn't Indian and Polaris separating?
It's the divorce already happened yesterday, February 1.
Yesterday, the divorce is over.
Yeah,
free and clear, no child support, no alimony. Well, Indian goes way back. We were talking about to Schwinn bicycles.
Well, for us it does, yeah. Indian goes back to 1901, which makes this year their 125th year in business.
How many companies can say that?
Well, we can. It's our 117th year in business for Naults.
You don't look that old.
No, I feel it. But yeah, and like all these companies, they've all seen their hard times over the years.
The AMF with Harley.
Bought
Remember that?
That's right. Bought and sold, traded off, but it never went away. Right, and it is America's original. It's the oldest motorcycle built here in America, and it's still here today. And it's back on its own.
And it's built in America.
100%. Spirit Lake, Iowa.
You cannot say that even about Harley anymore. All their parts are built in other countries, and they're assembled here.
Yep.
They're not built. They're assembled.
Yeah. No, the actual plant is in Spirit Lake, Iowa. Very dedicated group of people who are passionate about what they do, and it shows in the product that they build.
Oh, also, Indian has two iconic motorcycles that started in their heyday that are still here. The Chief and the Sport.
Yeah, and the Scout. Yeah.
The Scout. I'm sorry. They're still here.
Yeah, those names are icons, and they will be here forever, and it truly represents who they are as a company.
Did you know that Indian made the first V-twin motorcycle?
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
And innovation after innovation after innovation.
That's why they call it America's first.
America's first, America's finest.
Yeah.
So let's get a little background on both you guys. We got Curt and Scott here. So Scott, give us a little background on how you got involved with Indian Motorcycles and Naults. And I know you have 3 other shops. You can tell us about those too.
Yeah, so we're a family of 4 stores. During COVID, I happened to fall into one of the stores that needed a little assistance in the finance office. Curt and I linked up, and over the years we built a friendship and a trust with each other where he's given me the reins to run the Indian store, and we're growing that to be the top Indian dealer, hopefully in the Northeast this year, and hopefully one of the top 5 to 10 in the country over the next couple of years.
Well, when I was there, I went up there a few weeks back and looked at the place, and it's massive. And you guys got over 100 bikes in there.
We have exactly 100 right now.
Exactly 100.
Yep.
You sold one?
I did, actually. So when you look at our building from the outside, it is very
deceiving.
Very deceiving. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have that much room, but people don't realize we have 3 floors. So the way it was designed, it's set up to hold probably right at 100 bikes. So we're pretty stuffed, but we have something for everyone, whether it's new or used, every different style of riding possible.
So you have on-off-road dual purpose Indians?
No, Indian doesn't make a dual
make a
purpose,
dual
but we
purpose.
do take those in trade, so we will have those throughout the year.
Oh, for used bikes, yeah.
Yep.
And what is the main ride for Indian? What is their pillar bike? Their
So
strongest seller?
it's funny, depending on what market you're in. You know, when we first opened the store, we really thought we were going to be a Scout and a Chief dominated dealer, and come to find out, we're more of a touring and bagger style
the
dealer.
Roadmaster.
You know, so I mean, I think last year my Pursuit and Challengers probably exceeded all expectations that I had.
That's the one I want. I want the Pursuit.
It's I think everybody's going to want the new vintage we just released. I think that one's going to be the one that is going to be on everybody's mind going forward.
Well, tell us about it.
So at the conference, they just released the 2026 vintage. You have 2 color choices. You have the black one or the red one. Price point's right around $20,000. It is absolutely stunning. It goes off in the old 1948 version, I believe is what they said. And we actually had a chance to sit on it, you know, stand it up, look at it. It's probably one of the most comfortable bikes I've ever sat on. I'm looking forward to us getting a couple in the store so we can do the test rides on them to see what they are.
So what they did was they kind of just got back to their heritage. And you see it every day on the road, right? Look at how a Mustang is made to look like a 68 Mustang. And
or the newer Mustang electrics that look like an SUV, which I don't even like.
Those are gross, but and Camaro did it as a retro.
Dodge did it.
Dodge
the Charger
did it.
and the Challenger.
Yeah, a big thing today is, and I actually got my eyes on one. There's a company out there that takes a brand new Bronco and puts like 1966 sheet metal on it.
Oh, nice.
So it's got all the modern features like crash and engine and ABS and all that, but it looks like a 66 Bronco. It's a really beautiful piece. But that's the big thing these days, is to have that retro look. And so Indian kind of thought about that, and they got back to their roots and redesigned basically a modern version, and then they call it the vintage, of that kind of 40s and 50s Big Chief, right? And if you Google it, just Google the new Indian vintage, and you'll see it. It is a stellar reproduction of an old bike. It has all the old flowing lines and the big sweeping fenders and the enclosed rear fenders, the single seat. And by the way, the single seat, in my opinion, has never been comfortable. Just that spring,
Yeah.
you know. This one is comfy, and they actually they spent more time on making sure that seat would be comfy for the long ride. But it's got the nice big beach bars. It looks vintage.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did take a look at that online.
It's pretty cool.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
They really knocked it
and
out
the
of the
price point, 20 grand, really isn't bad for a bike of that caliber.
116 cubic inch, air cooled engine, air and oil cooled engine. It just in my opinion, they hit it on the head.
You gonna get one?
I am actually
For yourself?
My wife won't like it. There's no place for her to sit. But
Well, that's when you do solo rides. They do make those suction cup seats that sit on the back seat too.
yeah, that's not
And
gonna work.
well, the best part about that is if she's barking from behind, you just pop it off, and there she goes tumbling down the road.
I love you, honey.
So, what's your background with the company?
So let's see. I started. I'm from the car side of life, but I have been riding and racing since my early days, probably 10 or 11 years old. I've known the Naults for almost all of that time, but I became to work for them in roughly 2015 when I started driving the ship. It's been a great experience, let me tell you. I mean, I was always a car guy. I was always gearhead. I got skulls and wrenches and tattoos of gears and all that all over me. But at the end of the day, riding is my passion, and I don't care if it's on road or off road or snow. That's what it's all about. And so having the opportunity to run this company, been an honor and a privilege.
You mentioned racing. Now, I don't know if you realize this, but back in 1903, Oscar Hedrum, who was one of the founders of Indian Motorcycles, broke the land speed record, which is 56 miles an hour, which we laugh at now.
You're right.
But I'm sure back then it was great. And then again, 1967, Burt Monroe set up a long-standing speed record on a modified 1920 Indian Scout at 184 miles an hour.
Great movie.
Great
by the
movie.
way.
Oh, you know the movie?
Oh yeah,
the last
yeah.
one
That's a great movie. Anthony Hopkins
It is, yeah.
plays Burt, and it tells the story very, very well. And we actually just saw the bike. They had the bike on display when we were out at
Did
the
they really?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still had that?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I just saw the original Easy Rider one, Captain America bike,
Yeah,
go
yep.
up on auction, $164,000.
Wow. Imagine that.
I would love to have owned that. That's
What was that bike new? $3,000.
if that, back then, and we're talking 70s.
Yeah.
You could buy a brand new bike, brand new Harley for like $700-800. You could
Right.
buy a Corvette for $3,000.
Yeah.
So that wasn't that expensive. $164,000.
Amazing.
Craziness money. Also, Indian introduced the first motorcycle with a full suspension back in 1903 Camelback, and then the very first electric starter in 1906.
Yeah,
So-
they're on the cutting edge, and to this day they still are. I mean, look at the bike. It is technologically and mechanically far more advanced than any other V-twin on the road.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say is that Indian has been the innovator, not the imitator.
Right.
What's in the future of Indian, do you think?
Well, let's talk about that. So, like I said, with Indian, they're just.
Anybody lose a phone?
That's mine. Yeah. That's probably my alarm going off, right? Sorry about that. So, again, Indian's been with Polaris since 2011. And again, Polaris did a great job. They set out on the mindset that they were just going to build the best bike that they could. And it was going to be better than anything else out there. And truth be told, they did that. So from a technology point of view, they really understood that. I think what was missing was the passion. It was an iconic bike, an iconic brand, but, they kind of played inside the lines. And we're motorcycle guys. We play outside the lines, right? So it was kind of holding them back, in my opinion. Still enough for me to make the decision to become an Indian dealer because I was pretty passionate about the bike. But recently, they decided what was best for the brand was to separate themselves from Polaris, and they sold it to a private equity firm out of California called Carolwood. That kind of divorce and remarriage, if you will, just recently took place, and they officially got the keys on February 1st. We went out to the meeting roughly the 23rd, I think it was, I forget, of January, where they kind of gave us a State of the Union address. You know, here's who we are, and here's where we plan to go, and here's how we plan to do it. And I got to tell you, I think they said all the right things. Would you agree?
I got to be honest with you. I've sat through a lot of meetings and stuff like this. This is one of the very few times as Michael Kennedy was up there, I was literally getting chills at some of the things that they were saying because, you know, we put our heart and soul into our dealership. Me and my staff really I try to make it to a family atmosphere. And the things that they were saying up on that stage, just it fueled us. So
yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So one of the things that this private equity firm did was they hired the best. They went out and got Mike Kennedy. Mike Kennedy ran Harley Davidson, Vance and Hines. You know, this is his backbone. This is who he is. He is a rider at heart, and he understands the business. So they really hired the best person that they could hire to come in and CEO and steer the ship on this company. And his thoughts and his vision and his ideas are just truthfully, not only are they some of the best I've ever heard, but it's exactly what this company needed, what this brand needed. We're in it, and we are a standalone company now. We no longer have to answer to the corporate crap that came with Polaris. And again, they did a great job. I don't want to hammer them too bad on that, but at the end of the day, they were what were hurling us back. Mike brings new visions, new ideas, and he knows where this company needs to go, and it's to be that top brand. And we're going to do it through a biker set of eyes, not a corporate set of eyes.
I find that really comforting.
Oh,
because I've seen motorcycle companies just, hey, let's add this and this and this and this. We can raise our price so much more, and it's more about the motorcycle than the rider. Now, again, it should be about the rider, not the motorcycle. And this is the way that company's heading.
Absolutely. And I got an opportunity to sit down and have some one-on-one time with him. I found it a very pleasurable experience. He's a very knowledgeable guy. He's a very driven guy. We share the same ideas of where the company needs to go, the brand needs to go. He's, looked me in the eye, gave me a handshake, and promised that, they will do better. And they'll do better for the dealer network. They'll do better for the brand. They're going to work with guys like us, with Laconia coming up, to really...
Are you going to be doing a booth up at Laconia?
So we'll be doing a booth. We're because this is all just happening, right? The divorce has just started. So the plan is that we're going to have a booth up at the track first.
Loudon.
Which will be right behind the Indian demo truck, so where everybody goes to do their test drives. And we're going to bring the show up there. In fact, we're going to bring almost the entire dealership up there, and we're going to set up a dealership behind, right with the Indian truck, and it's going to be a party. And we're going to have a good time, and we're going to, recognize the brand and the icon that it is, and we're going to celebrate that. The other part of this is working with the two, really the leaders of Bike Week, Jen Anderson and Charlie St. Clair, to also have a pretty dominant presence in the Weirs and basically all of that section up there. Right now, Harley dominates that space from an advertising point of view. If you didn't know it, you would think Harley owns that, even though it's just banners and posters and whatnot. But Harley is going to have an active piece in that so that people understand that A, you have choices, B, there are better bikes out there, and C, that we are here to play and we're for real. Considering
how, and I hate to say it because I'm a Harley guy, how bad Harley has gotten over the years. I mean, you can buy a brand new bike and it's going to sit there 6 weeks because the chip is bad. They're not using top quality parts.
I think it's. I can only give you my opinion, and for the record, I own a couple of Harleys. I'm a bike enthusiast through and through. But I do think the business model has just gone downhill over the years. And if you don't have a good business model, then you can't properly support the dealer network. If you can't properly support the dealer network, then you can't properly support the consumer, because that's the order of things. Harley makes the bikes, the dealers sell them, consumers buy them, and then that becomes, throughout the chain how they stay connected, right? And so a manufacturer has to support a dealer has to support a customer, and then when that customer needs support, he should be able to fall back on both of those chains.
Yep.
When that goes away, things start to change, and today you look at it, Harley's market share is dropping. Currently, Kawasaki is the motorcycle leader in the nation. And so it really couldn't be any more of a prime time for Indian to say, hey, we're the oldest motorcycle manufacturer in the world. We're American built. We're celebrating our 125th years, which means we've been around exactly half as long as this country has been here, right? It's 250 this year for our country. And say, we can be in this space and we make a better product at a better price. And it's everything you would expect out of what you're riding now, only better.
Oh, remember, World War II, 50,000 Indians were produced for the military.
Correct.
Okay, 50,000. Harley didn't get that number in World War II, I think it's because Indian is definitely a better structured bike. The innovations that Indian itself has come up with over the years and continues, like you were telling me about the braking system now.
Yeah, the whole safety features they brought on last year that have incorporated into this year, blind spot indicator, link
On your
braking
bike, a
system,
blind spot
smart lean.
indicator.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, they
that's a
even let
game
you know if you're
changer.
getting tailgated now. So, I mean, there's so much safety on motorcycles now for Indian, it's unheard of.
And tell people how the new brake systems work.
So it's link braking. If you come into a situation where you have that moment where you grab all front or all back, back in the day you'd slide out or kick over. Now it has enough computer chips and brains to tell the brakes what to do, so you have equal braking through front and rear, so you don't
Lay
get
the
into
bike down.
get into a catastrophic situation.
So the safety innovations in itself is a big seller for the consumer.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because you are probably already living that type of technology in the car that you drive today.
Most
right?
people.
What car today doesn't have some sort of lane assist or anti-lock braking
Sensors
yeah.
Well, they got that new one where it keeps you in the lane. I rented a car a few years back down in Florida. Didn't know it had this feature, so I'm driving and it's pulling me into the limit. What the hell is this car pulling me for?
Yeah.
And I found out it's like, oh, this button here. I turned the button off. I was fine, but it just drove me crazy because I wasn't expecting it.
Right.
But they have similar stuff for Indian motorcycles.
And you have the option on the bikes if you want to turn off some of the safety features, you have the ability to do that as well. So, you can pick and choose what you want to do depending on what your riding style for that day is going to be.
Just like the stereo systems.
And that nothing beats our stereos.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I heard that.
Our power band audio is beyond amazing.
I listened to that when I was at your shop, and I thought that stereo system was crisp, loud, just like your pipe should be, crisp and loud.
I don't know if I could say it, but in my opinion, it kicks ass and takes names.
There you
really
go.
does.
There you go.
It's one of those things that if you're going to buy a premium product, you should get the premium audio. And regretfully,
Absolutely.
my bike does not have it that I bought, my Indian. That's my one, I wish I would have. So that's probably going to be one of my upgrades coming soon.
Yeah, my Harley still got the original 2000 stereo. I want to upgrade, of course, cost factor. Everything's a cost factor these days. But, I mean, if you can get it already installed, it's like when you go to a bike shop, you go, oh, I want this pipe, I want these forward controls, I want this, and I want this. And those are all add-ons. You were talking about the motorcycle pipes now that Indian's taking care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the things, again, right out of Mike Kennedy's mouth is we understand that one of the negative feedbacks that you seem to read online, because that's where everybody's knowledge comes from, is that, the lack of aftermarket accessories that's out there for an Indian as compared to a Harley. And I would make that comparison to, say, a Jeep, right? Jeeps haven't changed in forever. They change in about 10 or 15 year buckets. So it makes it real easy to have a plethora of aftermarket accessories. Harley's the same way. One set of pipes fits a multitude of bikes for a multitude of years. Indians were always just a bit unique. Now imagine if you're an aftermarket company, you can either stamp something out that will fit the masses and quite easily, or you've got to custom fabricate something and hope that you sell enough of them to get your return. So truth is that there is a lot of aftermarket accessories out there, but definitely not as many as there are for Harley. What Mike Kennedy does, and his connection to the aftermarket world, is he's decided, no, we're going to reduce the SKUs, if we will. We're going to design it so that aftermarket companies will want to do this, right? Because it'll be easier for them to do. He made a pretty powerful statement that's really stuck with me. He said, we want to be able to have these accessories. We want people to be able to customize these bikes because that's, who bikers are to their soul. He says, and after all, stock bikes suck. And he's absolutely right. Everybody wants, you buy the bike, but then you make it your own. And that just kind of stuck with me. And that's going to kind of be, one of our slogans moving forward. Stock bikes suck. And we're going to...
You want to say it too?
You'll hear me say it probably 10,000 more times over the course of this year, because that is going to be our motto. And we have the ability to upgrade every bike we have.
And I've been riding since I was a kid, and every bike I've done something to. It isn't like, oh, I'm just going to drive this bike. You may think that in the beginning, but there's always something you want to do to that bike. I've seen people put $20,000 into a bike and still not be finished. Mm-hmm. So, you guys got an airbrusher for doing airbrushing?
I actually don't. It's so funny. We were just talking about
I will give
getting
you
into,
one.
Yeah, if you got any hookup there, we're looking for somebody to do some custom paint work for us.
Yeah, she's one of the best. Her name is Danielle, and she's been on the show a few times, and she's been invited to SEMA 3 years in a row to show off her skills. Invited.
Wow.
That's how good she is.
Yeah, please do.
You should bring her to the store.
She's down in Massachusetts,
okay.
But I'm sure we can get her come up to the store and do some work on yous.
Okay.
Accessories.
You got to do a total Wolfmann bike, man.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
We could do that.
Accessories are funny. I know that a lot of or some accessories, are born from convenience. This would be great if we had this or was able to do that. But to me, the majority of the core accessories are built from racing. It's what we learn on the track that we bring home, and we figure out a way to get it out to the public and the masses. We prove it on the track, and we sell it on the showroom floor. And Indian, as you know, dominates the Bagger series, which is an incredible race series if you ever get a chance.
I saw that for the first time like 3 months ago, and it's an amazing race.
Those guys, they ride.
They rip them just like their crotch rockets, and it's amazing what they can do with those bikes. It's
incredible what they can do with those bikes. So, again, Indian racing and Indian, it's always been at their core. They always say, when was the first race? It's when they invented the second bike, right? But with Indian racing's at their core, they have teamed up with Vance and Hines this year for their racing team.
Two Harley riders.
You're going to see some really quality riders, but you're going to see the end result of that. Is it about the trophies? Is it about winning on Sunday? It absolutely is. But I think what's more important is what comes out of that racing product and what eventually trickles down into the bike that you're going to buy,
like
or the
first
accessory you're going to put on.
Fully suspension but motorcycle was Indian. We talked about that, and that probably came from some racing series that they were doing back then.
It's born on the track and lives in the showroom and in our garages.
Okay, this is the time I take a break from my guests, who I'm very happy they're here to say hello to my listeners, who always are here. We have Mama Wolfmann listening. We got Mrs. Wolfmann listening. We got Austin. Barbara Leanne, isn't she from your company?
I think I'm married to her.
I think he's married to her.
Well, hello, Mrs. Indian Motorcycles. We got Chief is listening. We got Mike Poulon. Liam is listening. And Cheryl is listening. So we got plenty of people that listen to the show. Let's give everybody your addresses and websites, because I want to make sure they know where you are, let alone hear what you talk about.
Yes, our Indian store is located at 32 Lafayette Road, beautiful, tax-free, Northampton, New Hampshire. And then we have 3 other locations where we sell Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Beta, Polaris, Marine. We sell boats, Princecraft boats. 60 Range Road in Windham, New Hampshire. 420 2nd Street in Manchester. That's our original
Naults.
That's our original Naults. Not the original building, but originally
That's the one
from
right
Manchester.
beside the highway.
That's correct.
Correct.
And 515 Union Street in Littleton, New Hampshire, up above the Notch, up in riding country.
You guys should do a ride from Manchester all the way up and do a big charity ride.
Yeah, so we're actually putting together a ride this year. That'll, if it all goes to plan, we do have a little work ahead of us because there's a lot of planning to this. But that we'll do it during Bike Week, and we're hoping to leave from our Indian store in Northampton, take a beautiful ride up to the track, and if all goes well, that ride will end with a lap around the track.
I did that last year, and that's a fun deal. We did that with the Nazwa.
Yeah. They do a great job with that. They do an awesome ride. That's she does a great job with that.
Also,
So we're kind of hoping to do the same, and then it's got, we're only 2 years. We've only been open for 2 years. I mean, as a company, we've been around for 100 plus. But from an Indian point of view, we've only been open for 2 years. We've made a hell of a dent in the market. There are 349 Indian dealers across the U.S. That's still growing. And I think we came in last year at what number?
16th.
Number 16 in the country.
You got to get to number one.
Oh, we're getting there. But it's got to start someplace. And this is year 3, I think, between Indian, at 125 years, us at 117, just combining everything, the new ownership of Indian. I don't know. I think this is the year we ring the bell.
This is the year for you to be riding in India in 2026.
It absolutely is.
So you have novice bikes all the way up to big baggers. I'm a novice walking in your storefront. I'm looking around. I don't know what I want. How do you deal with me?
Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a full conversation of what are you looking for? First and foremost, what is your style of riding? What type of riding do you do? What type of knowledge do you have of riding? What is your budget? What are you looking? So we're going to go through A to Z of everything that works best for you, not what works best for us. Because at the end of the day, when you leave our store with a motorcycle, we want to make sure it's the right motorcycle for you, whether it's new or used, so that you keep coming back to see us. It isn't about just putting you on a bike. It's putting you on the right bike. So that's why we make sure we have such a large variety of motorcycles. So ultimately, it's a question and answer segment between you and I to find out what the right bike is for you. And we've had many people that have come in and said, I saw the website, this is my bike, this is what I want. I know for a fact we get them, sit them down, it's not the right bike.
They can't pick it up.
It's not even that. We had a guy, I joke you not, he was 6'2", about 220, and he wanted a Scout 60. And I'm like, you are 100% on the wrong bike.
Yeah.
So we sat him on it, and we sat him around the rest of the store, and he ended up buying a Chief. So the customer knows what they want, but sometimes they don't know exactly what's right for them. So it's our job to make sure that we go over the ins and outs of what type of riding you're doing.
I've said this 100 times. I'll say it again. Why do we ride? Why does anybody want to get on a motorcycle? Motorcycles are, they're not cheap.
They're dangerous.
They're finicky. And yeah, if you take your eye off them for a second, they're going to kill you, right? Yet we make that decision to get on that bike every day because, that side of our brain wins the day. That it's about the experience. You guys
It's
have
all
heard
about
me
the
say that.
adventure.
That's my psychiatrist. It keeps me calm.
It's about the experience. And what that means is that we forego all that negative stuff and we get on that bike because we know that bike can take us to a place that we can't get to by any other means, right? Our job as a dealer, it's not just to sell you a bike. It's to provide that experience. It's to make sure that first you have a good experience in the buying process. That's his job. And second is to make sure you have a good experience starting tomorrow. When you get on that bike and you leave and you're riding and you're getting to that place in your head that you can't get to by any other means, that experience is a good one. And it starts with, understanding the customer, having an unbelievable knowledge of the bike, and then merging those two together so that we can guarantee you get that great experience.
When I was selling motorcycles back in the 90s with a place called Red Streak Motors, which isn't there anymore, my biggest thing was when you walk away from your bike after you park it, do you turn and look at that? Because that's when you know you bought the right bike. You're always looking over that shoulder going, yeah, that's the right bike. I've had bikes that just get off and run in the door, but there's some bikes you just go, yeah. What do you do for me after I bought a bike? Okay, 6 months down the line, 7 or whatever. I mean, as a customer, do I become family?
So that's huge
Yes,
for
you
us.
do.
So for us, it is about being family, whether you buy from us or not. When you stop into our store, you become family. We want you to come in and enjoy us. So I don't care what you ride. If you have a Harley and you want to just come in and, talk for a while, that's fine. But after you buy the bike, we have events going on all year long. We have an Indian motorcycle riding group that we encourage everybody to join because of all the stuff that they do as well. We have a parts department that's beyond any other parts department that I'd put out there as far as knowledge goes, and a service department and a maintenance program that I'll put up against anybody's in the country.
And might I add, the cleanest bike shop, mechanic-wise, I've ever been in.
Yeah, Brian's pretty particular about how he wants his shop to look.
Spotless.
It's phenomenal.
We had. I take a lot of pride in that shop. Stuff that I've learned over, and as a mechanic myself, I mean, I raised kids and put them through college as a flat rate mechanic all my life. I wanted to make sure that shop was everything that I would want as a mechanic, and that was truly designed from a mechanic's set of eyes. Very efficient, very clean, very laid out. Everything is at your fingertips. Everything you could possibly need is right there. You should enjoy what you're doing, and it's hard to enjoy when if the shop is not, it's set up for something other than production, other than to make it as easy on a mechanic as possible.
I have walked into shops, or driven into shops with my bike, and saw the state of what their garage looked like, and I've turned around and drove away. Because if you can't keep your work area clean, how I know you're going to be that meticulous with my bike? It's my bike. You're going to be meticulous regardless whether you like it or not.
If you want to know how much it means to me, you were in the shop, correct?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that black toolbox to the left is mine.
And it's spotless.
Yeah, it's one thing we take pride in is we want to make sure that every time someone drops their motorcycle off to us, motorcycle, trike, whatever it is, that they know when they're leaving it with us, we're going to take the best care possible, and that when it leaves us, it's going to be in better condition than when it came in.
Yeah, that's what I got out of the whole shop. The whole shop was immaculate. The bikes were set up to a point where you didn't have to jump in and out and over bikes to get to the next bike. It was perfectly set up in my eyes that you could just walk around this place and see every individual bike, get in between the bikes, check out the bikes, go into the shop, spotless. Your crew, amazing bunch of people. I talked to a few of them while I was there. They seem to be really nice, down-home people, and that's what we need more in this world is companies like you guys.
We want you to come in and enjoy your time there. We don't need to follow you around. We don't need to harp on you and hound on you.
I didn't get followed at all.
No, we don't. If you need us, we're there. We're within, yelling distance or within a couple steps. We're always there to answer questions, but we want to give you time and freedom to go and do your shopping on your own, whether it's for a T-shirt or whether it's for a Pursuit Elite or whatever you're looking for. We want you to have the room and the comfort to know this is an easy spot to shop.
And Wolf, you were there.
And I'll be there
the
again.
The bikes kind of sell themselves.
They do.
And listen, Indian does a great job. They're beautiful. The lines are incredible. But bikes in general sell themselves. It's one of those things where, and Indian talks about this all the time, which is they call it the first, second, and third look. When you walk into that showroom, your first look is that bike that's off in the distance, and that catches your eye, right? Maybe it's the color, maybe it's the flash or the lines, or the design of it. I don't know, but that first one, when you walk in, even if you didn't know what you're looking for, you're drawn to that. That's the first look. The second look is as you come up on it, you start to appreciate what it is that caught your eye. It's maybe the lines, the flow of the plastics in the metal. The color starts to pop off to you more. And then the third look is detail. That's when you throw your leg over it and you're looking down and all the little things, the little Indian heads in the pinstripe and that custom metal flake or pearl paint, the chrome, all that fine detail.
I need to go buy a bike today.
Well, that's and so our job is we just need to provide that, right? And here's the bike and here's a great showroom and a comfortable environment, low pressure. Party type of atmosphere. Music's going. We've always got drinks for you down there in the little waiting area that we have.
1901 Lounge.
1901 Lounge.
Oh, that's what you call it?
Yeah, it's the 1901 Lounge.
Nice.
Yep.
You gonna have the Super Bowl playing there?
We will probably actually we'll be closed, so we won't be playing it. But I will tell you during the Bagger Series, we'll have every race streaming, so that'll be visible for everybody.
And it just dawned on me. I didn't say it, but go Pats.
Go Pats. Go Seahawks. No, don't say that. So, I just lost my train of thought. Where'd that go?
Well, let me help you with that. So let me.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
You have an event coming up in March, you said.
We have events all the time. We actually have an event coming up this Friday.
This Friday. Let's hear about the event. What's going
So
on?
Friday we have, they call it Galentine's Day. So we are encouraging any female that has a motorcycle, that wants to know more about motorcycles, upgrades, any female that thinks that they want to become a rider, we want them to come by our store from 4 to 6. We're going to have female riders there, ladies from our IMRG, my service rider who is a brand new rider will be there, Q&A with all the ladies. My staff will be there to answer any questions that they have. But it's a time for all these ladies to get together, have some wine, some cheese and crackers, and really, learn more about motorcycles and get more ladies into the mix.
Oh, definitely.
Then we're going to follow that up with, after Motorcycle Week, we have the demo truck coming out. So we will have the demo truck the weekend after Motorcycle Weekend.
Where are you going to park that?
The same place as last year, right beside my building. It's going to be the 18-wheeler. We're bringing all the bikes out, and then just in case anybody can't make it out then, Curt was gracious enough to give me a second round of the demo truck on September 11th for that weekend. So this is a year to buy an Indian. We're going to have promotions going on all the time. We have events going on all the time. I take almost everything in trade and then some, but if you don't know how great an Indian motorcycle is, you've got to get out to our store.
Yeah, you've got to come experience it and really experience what I experienced, how I became an Indian dealer. I fell in love with the bike, and then we opened the dealer. It's and I've told that story 100 times, but come out, throw a leg over, and realize that, wow, there is another choice in an American-built V-twin, and this one is better. It's got better brakes. It's got more power. It's got better suspension. It's got better electronics. It's got better paint. It's got a better seat. It's got a better sound.
Everything about it.
And then you look at that and go, wow, And we have all the same gear. We provide all the same experience. It really is an incredible, incredible bike.
And a quick correction, our store is actually listening. I misspoke. Our Galentine's is on the Friday the 13th, in case I didn't say that. I think I just said this coming Friday. So correction, it's Friday the 13th. So thank you, Adam. But yeah, the Indian motorcycle experience is better.
Smartwatches, huh?
Yeah, I know, right? So the Indian motorcycle experience, again, the beauty for us is we're right down the street from a couple competitors, so you have the ability to go down and check out what they have and then come see what we have and literally compare the two, and you will find the technology, the rideability, the price point, nothing beats an Indian.
Oh, yeah, and better finance options.
You guys know a Matthew Gordon?
I'm sure we do. We have 4 stores and so many people coming through there. It's hard to say.
Well, he told me to stop picking on his neighbors. I don't know who he's talking about.
It must be you. I don't know.
Must be somebody I've been talking about. Well, maybe it's...
Oh, it could be picking on Harley. That is our neighbor.
Yeah.
So maybe something about Harley. Yeah. Listen, we're not picking. Let's be crystal clear on something. We love Harley Davidson. We think they're a phenomenal bike. They're just not as good as an Indian.
Ah, there you go. Now
I mean, it's a great bike. Just if you're going to compare apples for apples, we give you more bang for your buck. We give you the options that are already on there that you don't have to pay for. We have better warranties, and I will put my store up against anybody as far as cleanliness, talent, and ability.
He did pick you right out, Scott. He did say, stop picking on my neighbor across the road. Stop now. So he must be a friend of yours or something.
Actually, it's so funny. We did intentionally build the Indian store virtually right across the street for a couple hundred yards away from Seacoast, who by the way, they're great people. Like, it's a great company. They run a great company. I was, for years, I was one of their VIP members. I bought a bike from them.
And if you're thinking about getting your motorcycle license, they have a phenomenal course. We send people to them all year.
My wife and my daughter.
We send people there all the time. Yeah, I believe so.
Nikki, Stevie, Nikki.
My wife and my daughter both took the course there, and I insisted that they.
And my service rider.
Yeah. No. Again, it's all about experience and options. That's all it's about. You know what I mean? And the example I give of why we did the store the way we did was, if you were building a Wendy's, wouldn't you want it across the street from the best McDonald's there is?
Yeah.
That's why we did it. They do a great job. And we're hoping to do a great job and provide the same
Indian motorcycle isn't for everybody, just like Harleys are not for everybody.
Exactly.
Kawasaki,
Choices.
Honda, Yamaha. It's all about choices. That's why we have the freedom of choice.
And you're going to have those diehard Harleys no matter what we offer. They're never going to step off. We have some Harley riders that refuse to sit on an Indian because they know as soon as I do, it's probably going to change the tide.
Well,
but they're welcome.
100%. I want them to. I encourage them, and I tried. I offer, like, you'll see. We have Swap Your Swag coming up soon, where you bring me in your old
that's what I wanna hear
T-shirts
about.
of Harley. And listen, I love when they bring me a Harley and I give them an Indian. That makes me smile. I mean, I don't mind Hondas and Cowies, but that Harley makes me smile a little bit deeper.
It's all
everybody
about
what-
the community.
Tell everybody what Swap Your Swag is. This is the first time I've ever heard this.
So we have an event coming up, and you have to follow us on our social media. Swap Your Swag is you come in with one of your old T-shirts from
Any brand.
any brand, yeah, and we will give you one of our, limited edition Indian T-shirts. And if I'm not mistaken, it's going to look very similar to the one that I'm wearing today.
With a secret that we're not telling anybody, right?
Yeah, there's a couple other things that'll be going on during those events as well. So
Yeah, I like the idea of Swap Your Swag.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. That's a big think about it. If you've been on a Harley your whole life, everything in your life has a bar and shield on it. It's probably even on your arm.
Actually, the funniest thing is I'm that guy who doesn't want to let somebody get my advertisement for free. I've never worn a Harley shirt.
Really?
And I ride a Harley. I don't have any Harley tattoos. And I'm covered.
You think about it. I always make the joke. If somebody gets off a cruise ship in the Dominican someplace, they don't get off the ship and go, where can I get my Honda shirt? You know what I mean? Or where can I get my Yamaha shirt? They get off and go, where can I get my Harley shirt? Or where can I get my Indian shirt?
Well,
right?
that's the thing. Like, you go to Daytona, you got to go to Daytona Harley Davidson. You go to Myrtle Beach, you got to go to Myrtle Beach Harley Davidson. You go to Laconia, you got to go up to Laconia Harley Davidson, which isn't in Laconia, it's up in Meredith.
and that's what we're trying to do. That's why we're creating.
We're trying to make that
right.
destination.
We're trying to make our store a spot on the map that everybody wants to come and get our shirts. And come in and, like you said, you were amazed on what my showroom looked like. You were amazed on
will
how
wear
big the
your
store
shirt.
was. We'll make sure that happens.
I will wear
We
your
got
shirt.
we got some cool shirts coming out too.
And because I walk into place, I'm treated like an individual. I'm not pressured into buying anything. You gave me a great tour, all 3 floors, which most people don't get to see.
Yeah, no. The only thing that anybody typically doesn't see is we don't really usually walk everybody through the mechanics bay. But for everybody that's listening, let me explain. When you walk in, is our main showroom. 1901 lounge is there. A lot of our shirts and apparel are there, and some of our special edition upgraded motorcycles on the first floor. When you go upstairs, that is where all of the new inventory lands, and we also have a large apparel section up there as well. Downstairs is where our used section survives during the wintertime. Summertime, I put most of it outside, and it's also where we have our part of our winter storage and some of our mechanics bikes they're working on. So large area. When you come in, you walk through the front door. Please don't think that's all we are for you, because there is so much more to see in our store.
Oh, yeah. I like sitting up in the crow's nest overlooking down.
Yeah, the mezzanine's a nice spot where you just look down. You take a look at, you got the 50 bikes upstairs. You're looking down on the 20 downstairs. You're thinking, man, they really stuffed these bikes in here. And if you ever have a chance to watch us bring bikes in and out, have a Coke and a smile and enjoy that show, because
You
it's
guys
fun.
got an elevator to get to the top floor?
No.
You're carrying them up the stairs?
We actually have a forklift with a platform that we lower it into the hallway. Then we literally will squeeze through the hallway and put them in one at a time. So when you see the design today and then you come in there in a month and it's a totally different design, sometimes we'll spend the entire day pulling every motorcycle out by forklift, rearranging the design and bringing them back in by forklift.
So that the forklift is kind of a funny story. To putting an elevator in requires a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's what it takes to build it. Elevator insurance and unions and stuff like that's a big deal. And at the end of the day, they're slow. And I knew that we would need to be able to have volume to be able to move in and out of that second story. So we built that platform. But I got to tell you, that thing will outdo.
Oh, I can fly on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can boogie.
We can do probably 30 bikes in what it would take to do 5 on
Yeah.
the elevator.
Every day, yeah.
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 Very efficient. Pretty proud.
You're pretty proud of it?
That was I did a lot of welding.
I did a lot of designs on that building. So, yeah, it's phenomenal. So,
Yeah, it's a great building.
Yeah.
I went in there with my big truck, big mistake, because the parking there is,
It's tight. It's a tight
it is
spot.
tight. Events are a challenge, which, again, please follow us on every social media platform, because we are going to quadruple what we did last year for events. We're really putting forth the effort because, like Curt said, stock bikes suck, and we're just going to keep making people come in, buy bikes, and upgrade.
Okay, well, before we go off the air, because we're going to be going off the air in a few minutes, let's get your addresses, websites, phone numbers.
So address is 32 Lafayette Road in beautiful tax-free Northampton, New Hampshire.
Downtown, tax-free, beautiful north.
Tax-free, man.
And
That
our
makes all the
website?
difference in the world right there.
Website is 603indian.com, or for you military people, 603indian.com.
Sixer, niner.
Right, exactly. We have this debate all the time. 603-697-6033 is our phone number. Give us a call. Check us out. If there's any motorcycle questions at all, we can answer them.
And bikes for everybody.
Everybody.
for everybody.
We have used that cover metrics, Americans, Harleys,
You
Triumphs.
actually had an Intruder down there.
Oh, yeah. I had an old Intruder.
It was I think it was a 96 or a 95. My first brand new bike was an Intruder.
Yeah, we carry everything. Like I said, we take almost everything in trade. I want you on an Indian this year. I want to break the top 10, but I also want to be that dealership where you're like, yep, I found a new family. These guys are amazing.
Oh, it's just like where I buy my cars. I bought the last 6 cars from them because they treat me good. They treat me like family. No high pressure sales.
Correct.
It's the experience.
It's the experience.
100%. And that's
I
exactly what we
probably
offer.
won't be buying my next car from them because they're down in Massachusetts, but you never can tell.
Yeah, well, come see Seacoast
In our
Indian.
model, again, a little bit different than a Harley model, where it's typically Harley's just Harley and used Harleys. We take everything in on trade, and we sell and service everything.
You even have UTVs in there, I saw.
I did. I actually have a KX100 on the back of my truck that I'm bringing to my store today that I just got. So
little kid's dirt bike. You probably see it from the window.
I saw it when I came
yeah,
in.
that's
there.
my that's going to the store today. So again, we have something for everybody, and if I don't have it at my store, there's a good chance one of my family stores has it.
One in Manchester has Honda Marine Motors,
Yes.
Honda generators.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's an all-around store. Don't forget to come out and see them at Naults Seacoast Indian Motorcycles over at 32 Lafayette Street in Hampton. And for all your parts, swag, and motorcycle needs, give them a call. This has been the Wolfman. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you.
And we'll see you guys next week.